What's up guys, it's Messed Up Swede. Right now I'm checking out another Skyboy video. This one is a part-time boxer, full-time gangster called Sparks. Oh yeah man, big up Skyboy on another video man. I saw in the comments he's upgraded his audio as well. So yeah, I mean I haven't really thought it was that bad before, but it's always good to upgrade it though. But yeah, let's see what this one's about, man. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the way to 2K subs. Let's go. And don't forget to subscribe to Skyboy as well and leave a like on his video.
Ghetto Boys was a gang located in Lewisham. Now the Ghetto Boys was a gang
Ghetto Boys
located in Lewisham, South London, originating from the Woodpecker Estate within the SC14 postal district. Factions of the Ghetto Boys were spread throughout Lewisham, incorporating nearby Deptford, Lewisham and Catford.
Yeah, I mean the sound does sound a lot better.
Was spread
but big him up
throughout Lewisham, incorporating nearby Deptford, Lewisham and Catford. The estate became synonymous with gang culture in the 1970s onwards. In 1992, an estate action plan was drawn up for the regeneration of the estate. The plan lasted 10 years with limited funds and resulted in all but one of its tower blocks being demolished and replaced with 3-story blocks of flats. The gang
doesn't look like that massive of a difference though. Okay.
Gang had an intense rivalry with other areas in South London such as Catford, Peckham and Greenwich. Today we'll be talking about the boss of the Ghetto Boys, known as Sparks, real name Andrew Wanogo. Now Sparks' fearsome reputation began as a schoolboy who sadly got trapped into the system when he was sent to Feltham's Young Offenders Institute during his school days. He was an awesome fighter and even fought with UK cage rage boxing.
I wouldn't want to fight him, I'm not gonna lie.
He was an awesome fighter and even fought with UK cage rage boxing champion Lee Lightning Murray. Murray himself was later jailed for an armed robbery in Kent.
Damn, so all of the boxers are doing side hustles as well.
Lee Lightning Murray.
But yeah, I guess there probably wasn't that much money in it back then. And in the UK as well, and I guess this was kind of underground boxing. Like he said something about cage fighting champions.
And even fought with UK cage rage boxing champion.
Cage rage boxing. I don't know what that means, but
Lee Lightning Murray. Murray himself was later jailed for an armed robbery in Kent for the famous £53 million raid.
£53 million. Damn, that's a lot of money, man.
Later jailed for an armed robbery in Kent for the famous £53 million raid. When Sparks came out of prison, he was said to be involved in a burglary targeting BT buildings for computers and electrical items. He had run-ins with a dealer from Peckham called Damien Cope. Sparks, who was also involved in drugs, is said to have fallen out with Cope for unknown reasons. Cope had allegedly made substantial wealth from dealing drugs and at a young age had acquired for himself an Audi TT and a top-of-the-range BMW. On one
Audi TT, damn, I hate those cars, man.
For himself an Audi TT and a top-of-the-range BMW. On one occasion, Sparks confronted Cope. Cope didn't want to fight as he had a leg in a plaster. Nonetheless, Andrew knocked him out. Now as revenge, Cope and his friends then set about murdering Sparks and shot him in the lung and buttocks. The attempt was however unsuccessful.
That bad boy scene as well.
Shot him in the lung and buttocks. The attempt was however unsuccessful. So on the 29th of July 2002, Sparks along with Del P, real name Delphon Marvin Nicholas, and another man later acted revenge on Cope by using a honey trap to lower him outside of Brown's nightclub in Holborn. When they spotted Damien Cope, Sparks instantly shot him numerous of times. As Damien Cope lay dying in the street, he whispered the name of his killer to his two friends. The two friends decided to pass over the intel to the police, and from that point, Sparks was wanted by the police.
I didn't expect them to say they passed it on to the police. I expected them to say they passed it on to the gang, but okay. I don't know if they were involved or anything, so...
Dying in the street, he whispered the name of his killer to his two friends. The two friends decided to pass over the intel to the police, and from that point, Sparks was wanted by the police. However, it would be too little too late, as Sparks was already on the run and made it to America.
Oh damn, he went to the US.
America's also known as the land of the free, so it was pretty fitting. Sparks was now in Florida. He laid low for a while, but soon after he embarked on a fighting career. Amateur boxing, which included 5 fights and 5 wins by TKO, whilst on the run for murder in Coconut Creek, Miami, Florida. Sparks still kept up his thuggery while in a different country, which showed, regardless of the environment, he always kept the same energy. He also spent some time in New York with like-minded criminals, where he would go on to rob celebrity rapper Ja Rule of his gold chain.
Oh damn, he robbed Ja Rule. Mad.
Where he would go on to rob celebrity rapper Ja Rule of his gold chain. He also got himself in trouble with the law there and ended up serving a short jail term in New York's infamous Rikers Island Penitentiary.
That's what they say is the toughest jail in the US, right? Or toughest prison, should I say. It looks crazy though.
Short jail term in New York's infamous Rikers Island Penitentiary. Soon after, his reign of terror in the States would be over when a Trident civilian worker discovered him boxing under the name Andrew the Assassin Western in Florida.
Wait, are they saying a Trident civilian was in Miami watching that fight and noticed him? Because that's a mad coincidence. If that's what it means.
A worker discovered him boxing under the name Andrew the Assassin Western in Florida. Trident contacted US authorities and put together an extradition order so he would be arrested and deported. He was arrested in the US in July 2003. He was caught while attempting to step in the ring for a boxing match in Fort Lauderdale and extradited to the UK to be charged with murder.
These damn commercials, man.
Now, when it came to the trial and extradited to the UK to be charged with murder. Now, when it came to the trial, there were some issues and complications.
I'm not gonna lie, the judges in the UK, I don't understand why they still have to wear that shit on their head, man. It just looks funny, man.
To be charged with murder. Now, when it came to the trial, there were some issues and complications that were detrimental to the evidence and strength of the case. Damien's first friend still refused to give evidence, leaving the case dependent on one witness who was also refusing to be named or to come to court to give evidence. Furthermore, there was doubts about what he had told the police. CCTV footage showed the second witness going to Damien 7 minutes after he had collapsed, while the doctors who had examined Damien's body suggested that his wound was so severe that it would have been unlikely that he could have been capable of conversation.
Oh, so they're saying he went to him after he couldn't speak anymore, so therefore he can't be a witness. Because he couldn't have heard him say the name.
Who had examined Damien's body suggested that his wound was so severe that it would have been unlikely that he could have been capable of conversation. After that amount of time, further doubt came from the club bouncer who had been with Damien after he had collapsed, who stated that Damien had not uttered a single word during that time.
Damn, that sounds weird, man.
The judge formally declared Sparks not guilty. Sparks grinned as he left the dock. Prior to his release, detectives warned him, as they are obliged to under law, that a threat had been made against his life. They offered him protection as is required, to which he declined.
That's gotta be mad for the Fed, though. They extradited him from the US and everything, and then just to be found not guilty. That's crazy.
Been made against his life. They offered him protection as is required, to which he declined. See, despite the negative portrayal of Sparks, he was a certified hood legend across London. Everyone from the ends used to want to be like Sparks, talk like Sparks, walk like Sparks. He was loved by many. They saw him as real. He had it all. Gucci, Armani's, Rolexes, fresh to death at all times. Plus, he had the streets shook. Mr. Cope's mother, Lucy, then set up a charity, Mothers Against Guns, which demands life sentences without parole for gun murderers.
They didn't just take Damien, they shot me. They shoot a whole family. They shoot his great-grandmother, they shoot the whole lot of us, and I can't go certain places without, boom, it's there. I can't hear certain music even know him. I am not the same person I was in 2002. I died in 2002. And I saw pain in my kids' faces, like, they don't realise, and they always say, we want our mum back, but I can't be that person anymore. I can't laugh and joke and run around and play with my grandkid. I don't feel happy anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. R.I.P., man.
I find it horrible to.
Now, Damage's real name, Orville Davidson, was a Ghetto Boy member. Just like most gangs, in-house beef is very common, and the falling out between him and Sparks would escalate very quickly. As the boss, he had to make an example out of him to maintain the respect and fear he had over his gang. Now, on the 28th of March 2005, on the orders of Sparks, Ghetto Boy members loyal to Sparks would travel in a gold Nissan Sunny and a Yamaha motorcycle where they would spot Mr. Davidson. Mr. Davidson was sadly shot in the heart and was found lying dead on Knoll Street at about 10 p.m.
R.I.P., man.
3 men were arrested near the scene, but were later released without charge. Like the volatile character he is, Sparks now fell out with his longtime friend Del P, who was currently serving time in prison.
Other one.
Del P and Sparks fell out in February 2006 when Sparks deliberately insulted Del P by assaulting his father and stealing his car.
He beat up his dad and stole his car. That's crazy, man.
Really insulted Del P by assaulting his father and stealing his car. Now, this is a violation Del P couldn't let slide. So Del P, while in Belmarsh prison, conducted a hit on Sparks, which included a honey trap involving Serietta Berry, a female known to have had sexual relationships with Del P and Sparks before, as well as the shooter, Trevor Denny. Now, on the 8th of April 2006 at 1 AM, Sparks was parked in the car street near Miss Berry's house. He tried twice to call her, but she did not answer the phone.
Man. Always the honey traps, man. Crazy how often it is that they use the females to lure man out, to set him up and that.
He tried twice to call her, but she did not answer the phone. At 1:30 AM, Sparks stepped out of a car driven by his friend Sean Albert. Albert drove on up the road from the house to wait. As he pulled up a few houses down the road, he heard a series of gunshots in rapid succession before noticing Sparks in his rearview mirror sprinting up the road back towards the car. As he reached the car, his heart was pierced by a bullet that had hit him in the back and he fell to the ground. On his body, police found a 17,000 diamond encrusted Cartier watch and £1.11 in cash. The detective was convinced that the hit on Sparks on April 2006 was organised by a Belmarsh prison inmate on a smuggled mobile phone, which later investigations revealed had been used to make 17,000 calls in just 7 months.
17,000 calls in 7 months. It must have been used by several people then, I guess.
By a Belmarsh prison inmate on a smuggled mobile phone, which later investigations revealed had been used to make 17,000 calls in just 7 months. Officers spent months scanning the mobile phone records until a pattern emerged. It was later learned that a prisoner named Del P, real name Delphon Marvin Nicholas, had made a flurry of calls in the run-up to Sparks' death. These calls were to his best friend and alleged gunman and drug trafficker named Trevor Denny. Both men had fallen out with Sparks in disputes over women and drugs, and Denny had had enough. Now Denny, the gunman on the night, was operating under the direction of Nicholas, who had been communicating with him from Belmarsh prison. Denny knew what the victim's movement would be on the night of the murder and waited for Sparks at a venue. Miss Serietta Berry, 29, was believed to have played a key role in the murder, acting as a honey trap. At court, she denied that he had been going to her for a hookup and said instead he was going there to pick up a kilo of cannabis. The prosecution believed she had been involved in a setup. Now Nicholas and Denny were sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder after the court heard how Nicholas had arranged for Denny to kill his former friend and associate from prison using a smuggled mobile phone. Nicholas, 29, and Denny, 24, of Deptford was sentenced to serve a minimum of 30 years in prison. Now the mother of Damien Cope spoke after the death of Sparks, real name Andrew Wanogo. She had this to say: "I am very, very sad for his mother," she said about Sparks' death. "She really and truly does not deserve this. She did not kill my son." Andrew Wanogo is no longer a person.
I mean, his mom would be... Yeah, but I mean, obviously it's different with jail or being dead, but he would have been going to jail for like 30 years like these other guys if he wasn't killed, I guess. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's better to be in jail than being dead.
Sad for his mother, she said about Sparks' death. "She really and truly does not deserve this. She did not kill my son." Andrew Wanogo is no longer a perpetrator. He is a victim, she added. "This is not justice." Now that brings me to the end of the story of Iron Sparks. He lived as he died, by the gun, and his death only brought more misery to Lewisham as it became even more fractured, with gangs popping out of everywhere. As always, I send my condolences to the family of everyone I mentioned. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe, as it goes a long way. Also subscribe to my Patreon for uncensored footage and earlier release dates for my content.
Yeah, man, another good video from Skyboy. It's always interesting to see how some guys are living. Obviously, I don't live that life, so it's... Yeah, it's interesting to see, man. I don't understand how you deal with all that stress and all that headache. Like, you gotta be paranoid and all the time, man. But yeah. And yeah, obviously, yeah, as he said, he went from the perpetrator to the victim, but if you live that life, that's what comes with it. So yeah, man. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.